I was zeicher 32 years ago to be miyoshvei shulchonoi of הרב אלישיב זכר צדיק לברכה. אתה שם מבין אנגלית? אני אתרגם לך באמצע קצת, בסדר? And Elisha used to say Shiurim in a caravan next to his house, next to the shul. And a couple days before Pesach, he gave a few Shiurim on Pesach. I'd like to take an idea that he said and develop it, a shtickle, and perhaps will be relevant to what you people learned here in Tfilas HaShachar. At the end of the first parak in Brochus is a Mishnah. Mishnah state, Maskirin Yetzias Mitzrayim Baleilis. Omar Ablozo ben Azarya, Harei ani keven Shivi'm Shana, v'lo zochisi sheteomer Yetzias Mitzrayim Baleilis. Ad shedrosho ben Zoyma, Oman tizkoir, Es yoim tzeischo me'eretz Mitzrayim kol yemei chayecho, hayomim kol yemei chayecho aleilis, v'chachomim oimrim yemei chayecho oilom hazeh kol lohovi yemois HaMoshiach. The truth of the matter that this Mishnah was nikba by the Baal Haggadah as the opening to the Seder night, after you say the Holoch Ma'anya, mifankt on the mitzvah from Magid, machlik soshenim, the beginning of the mitzvah is for Magid, is Omar Abelazar ben Azariah, this Mishnah. And the Pele is a Meira de Kapel. Pele is Otzu. This machlekes of Abelazar ben Azariah and Chachamim is machlekes Krishma Badnach. We know there is a mitzvah Esther to say Krishma in the morning. The shaila is that this mitzvah, where the Ramban calls in Etlach Ha'erter, Ikrei Adas, saying Krishma, is this mitzvah of Krishma noyeg only by Yoim, or it's noyeg by Yoim u'balaylo? Shaila. So it's a machlekes. Abelazar ben Azariah says, Lo zochisi shetom yetzias Mitzrayim baleilos, ad shedrosha ben Zoyma. And Chachamim dingzach. Chachamim hold, Yemei chayecha hayomim, Kol yemei chayecha lo v'lo meis HaMashiach mean don't have a riboy for layla. This is a machlekes, which is a machlekes negeya to every night. They're going to daven Ma'ariv here in half hour and 40 minutes. So shaila to sido achoivas has koras yetzias Mitzrayim baleilos. So the ganze choive if it's only in the day. Pesach night we have a mitzvah of sipur yetzias Mitzrayim. The mitzvah of sipur yetzias Mitzrayim, and all the Rishonim are busy from the Rishonim V'Shiboi La'aleket Budram to the Maisenisim and Reb Chaim. Everybody knows what's the difference between the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim and the mitzvah of Haskoras Yetzias Mitzrayim Baleilos. You know the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, if somebody makes an early Seder, the halacha is you could theoretically be Mekabel Shabbos and Yom Tov before, and but Tesis in Omfang and Ave Pesachim, Tesis says, Tesis Akasha, what do you need at your Techshech? And Tesis says, Davka, b'Shabbos, the halacha is the Sugyas HaGemor, which you just learned, Rav Tzol, Shel Shabbos, Berev Shabbos. These are Dina Tesis Shabbos. So Mitzpal, Lodem, Erev Shabbos, and Mekadesh. Sai ba Kiddush, Sai ba Avdolah. Mashe'en Kein, in Pesach, there's halacha v'ochlu es haboso b'layla hazeh, v'iske shmatzu moror lePesach, v'iske shmatzu moror lePesach. Therefore, even if somebody's theoretically be mekayim mitzvahs halaylo b'oid yom, every Shabbos they can make Kiddush earlier. But Pesach, v'baldi is a mitzvah v'ochlu es haboso b'layla hazeh, has to be vaday laylo. So if somebody makes an early Yom Tov, Pesach, is unable to eat. That's why it says Achetechshach, because by every Shabbos and Yom Tov is not dafka Achetechshach. Every Shabbos and Yom Tov, you theoretically Mekabel Shabbos an hour earlier, so don't Heptzach on Shabbos. Shabbos begins, the commencement of Shabbos is prior to that. But here the halacha is Achetechshach and Iske Shmatzu Mor LePesach. So Memele Taisus has parnosa b'negea to the inyan of Isra Achil on Erev Pesach. The din of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim is also Balayla. Lo yomarti ela b'shor shematzu mo munochnu fanecho. And therefore everybody knows the famous words of B'skarov Yochel Miboid Yoim Talmud Loimar Iba Yoim Ahu. He says Yochel Mirosh Chodesh Talmud Loimar Bayom Iba Yoim Ahu Yochel Miboid Yoim Talmud Loimar Lo yomarti ela b'shor shematzu mo munochnu fanecho. That there is no din Teises Yontef and the din Schias Yetzias Mitzrayim, the din Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim in Leil Pesach. Same thing, matzah you got to eat at night, has to be Varei night, because it's ishkesh v'ochlos habosa b'layla hazeh, so to the mitzvah Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. So the mitzvahs esem in ateirer l'saper b'nisim v'nifloy shenasu l'abesinu Mitzrayim l'oshen Rambam miluchas kometz u'matzah, there is a consensus, there's no machlekes, and shtokin eiman da'omar that holds that there is no mitzvah Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. The mitzvah is an obvious mitzvah, bonded consensus, everybody knows there's a mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim below Pesach. The mitzvah of Zechiras Yetzias Mitzrayim, which you have to be Zeicha on a daily basis, is it in the morning, once a day, Sa'id the Rambam, Sa'id the Ramban, Sefer HaMitzvahs, you have to do it in the morning. In the evening, das ist the Machlekes doch Chachamim ben Zoymo, if there is a mitzvah of Zechiras Yetzias Mitzrayim. The Kashe, when he asked, was a person onhebt the Agode, okay, Yetzias Mitzrayim. The ganze Pesach Nacht is Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim. But the Sipur is totally irrelevant to the Azkora of Yetzias Mitzrayim on a daily basis. Why does the Tane or the Mesader HaAgode place the Mishnah in the Meimosa in Dafid Beis Amud Beis as the opening statement to the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, which is totally disconnected? So Reb Chaim says, he's three nafkaminas. Everybody knows V'advorim Yidum V'atikim. We're not here to discuss the nafkaminas. Why is there a halacha of, why is it part of the Haggadah? And not only part of the Haggadah, it's the opening statement for the mitzvah of Sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim, this shaila of Zechiras Yetzias Mitzrayim. So I would like to take you for a little journey, and we're going to pass through Tfilas HaShachar. Siddur Gemara in Yevamis. I'll give you a little introduction. Gemara in Yevamis, you know, there's a halacha, if somebody dies and doesn't have any children, so his brother is a mitzvah sibum. Trotz them that a person cannot marry his sister-in-law, it's one of the chayve krisis, a shesach. But b'moker mitzvah, there's a din of Esed Eichel. This is a mitzvah sasem in Atayre, subject to having all the contingencies of mitzvah sibum. A person is able and has a mitzvah to marry if his brother died with no children. Now, the halacha is that the mitzvah of Yibum is only providing, he's not pegeya in the erva. But lu yitzu, let's say my brother married my wife's sister, so if she's nefelos lefanai liyibum, it comes out, I'm going to have to marry my brother's wife, who is a sister of my own wife. The halacha is, there is no mitzvah of Yibum, and you don't even need chalitza. She's not even skukah liyibum, because b'mokem erva, there is no nefilas Yibum. Now what happened when my brother married my own daughter? My brother married my daughter. Now, in the Gemara Zeiten, Shema Yechape al Bas Achoisei, Bas Ochiv, Bas Achoisei, was a big Indian. People used to marry their nieces. And my brother died, so of course my daughter cannot be neufel to me the Yibum because she's an erva. If Av and Bita is not allowed. The halacha is by all the ervas, not only is the erva not neufel Yibum, but if my brother has two wives, the wife is called a tzora, so tzoras erva is also not. Even though when I'm going to be dan klape, the tzora itself, she has no connection to me. Theoretically, she's my brother's other wife. She's neufel Yibum, just like the erva is neufel Yibum. But in as much that the erva is not neufel Yibum, tzoras erva is also not neufel Yibum. Notwithstanding the above, what is if the erva is my daughter? The sugya is called tzoras habas. Al meducha zu of tzoras habas nechleku beishamai besilo many years. It appears it's a whole sugya as Gemara in the first parak in Yevamis. It's a Yerushalmi in Yevamis. It's a Yerushalmi in Shabbos. This was the major machlekes beishamai besilo that became such a machlekes. He pilo chaloli marbe. Actually, there were such fights that people were victims and died from this machlekes. Beis Shammai, right? Beis Hillel held that Tzoras Abbas is also, as if she's an erva, she's a Tzoras erva. Beis Shammai were mati at Tzoras Abbas. Not only they were mati at Tzoras Abbas, there's a Yibum. According to Beis Hillel, she's nothing. She's not neifel the Yibum. There's no zika. She's muter to a kohen. According to Beis Shammai, Tzoras Abbas, they were matir to the Achim. I'm not getting right now involved in the Yevomas Dikashtikl. It's not a get to us. It became a Volz Machlekes. The biggest Talmud in Beis Shammai was a fellow called Yonason ben Arkinas. Yonason ben Arkinas. There, Yonason ben Arkinas was a brother of the Gadol Hador Rab Doisa ben Arkinas. So Yonason ben Arkinas went around and he made a propaganda campaign to be matir, as the Rebbe had gesagt Beis Shammai, to be matir Tzoras Abbas. In the Talmidim of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai at the very same time, there were three Talmidim. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had many Talmidim, but three Talmidim which were very fundamental Talmidim. Steht in the Gemara, Tonu Toshma, Bimei Tzyevomes Daf Tezayin Amud Aleph. Bimei Rab Doisa ben Arkinas Hutra Tzoras Abbas La'achim, right? Vehoyo Hadovo Kosher Lechachomim. It was kosher lechacham. Now they had a problem. This Yonason ben Arkinas was a troublemaker. His brother Doisa called him a b'choyer sheita. He was older than him, but he was his brother, and he was a Talmid Chacham, and he was a Talmid of Beis Shammai. They decided. Now, Doisa ben Arkinas is 94 years of age at the time. He's blind. He cannot come in anymore to the Beis Medrash, and B'Masir Darka state in Yavetz, he wasn't mamish blind, he had a cataract, he could see the babur, but he wasn't functioning, he was sitting at home. And they decided they're going to send the Mishlachas of Chachmei Yisrael to Rab Doisa ben Arkinas to tell him that he should talk to his brother, and, it's Hoda, Dover, Kosher Lechachomim. V'oyo Kosher Lechachomim, the Gemara does Yerushalmi ki yoim shenase boyo egel. Stell sich vor, sag habe ich die Sorge bei dir. Hoyo kosher lechachomim ki yom shenase bo egel. So they decided, mipnei shechochom godel, the Doisa ben Arkinas, ve'enov komun over the Beis HaMedrash, omru mi yelech ve'yoidiyah. Who is going to tell him, your brother is a troublemaker? Please do me a favor. Take care of your brother. It's about time somebody puts his foot down. Omanam Rabbi Shiur ani yelech. I'm going to go. Ve'achar of me, Rabbi Elazar ben Azraya. Ve'achar of me, Rabbi Akiva. So all three is a mishlachas and traj, a whole delegation coming into Rab Doisa ben Arkinas, the blinde, to tell him about the troubles of his brother Yonason. Okay. Olchu ve'omdo al Pessach beiso nischesto shivchosei omer leRebbi Chachmei Yisrael boi netzlecho. Omer leikonsu v'nichnesu. All three coming in. Tofsoi leRabbi Yeshua ve'hoishivo al mito shel zov. Rabbi Yeshua, the Gadol Hador, Rabbi Yeshua, the Doisa ben Arkinas, blind the hate without being able to recognize, he knew him, and he held on to his arbel, to his sleeve, and he put him on mito shel zohov. The Achrayim say he had, Doisa ben Arkinas said, the mitas nechoishes, the mitas kesek, mitas zov. It's a business class, or a few people say upper class. Okay? So upper class, he put him on upper class bed on mita shel zov. Omar Rebbe emoy letalmidcho acher v'yeshiv. Rab Shua ben Chananya tells Rab Doisa ben Arkinas, you upgraded me to upper class. You should tell him also to get up there. Omar le mize, Omar le Rab Elazar ben Azraya. Omar le v'yesh bein la'Azraya chavereinu. I knew Azraya, Kent Azraya. We know in the Gemara, Shimon Achi Azraya. Azraya was a chaver of Rab Doisa ben Arkinas. I never heard he had a son. Koro olav hamikre no isi gam zokanti v'lo isi tzadik neze v'zaru mevakesh lochem tofse v'yeshiva al mita shel zov is upgraded together with Rab Shua ben Chananya. Zitz dort leb mem Rabbi Elazar ben Azraya. Omar le Rebbe emor le talmidcho acher v'yeshiv. Umiu Akiva ben Yosef. Listen, when he walked in, he was one of the people in the title, they put the title, Rabbi Akiva. But here is Akiva ben Yosef. Omar le, says Rab Doisa ben Akinas to Rabbi Akiva. Ato Akiva ben Yosef sheshibcha hoilach misayfa oilam atzayfai. You are the world's famous, the world-renowned scholar, Akiva ben Nish Rebbe. Akiva ben Yosef sheshibcha hoilach misayfa oilam v'atzayfai. Shave b'ni shave. Kmoischa yirbu be'Yisrael. I give a bracha that like you will be yirbu be'Yisrael. So this is Akiva ben Yosef, on our title, without any title. Akiva ben Yosef says, and he says, Yirbu kemoischa b'Yisrael. Elishiv asked the following question. No, Rabbi Shiur ben Chananya is the Rosh delegation. He was the head of the entourage. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So I want to tell you something about Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. You're learning brachas. And you have the Sugya Gemara in Brachas in Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The Gemara says a story. You learned it right now in Tfilas HaShachar. There was a Maise. Was ich the Maise? The Maise was that they decided to impeach Rabbi Gmaliel from his Nesius. Why? Because he had 3 instances of im passé with Rabbi Shiur ben Hanan. He was mashpilim. One story, what you learn now here in the Shaila of Tfilas Arvis Reshus HaChover. Another Maise was by Bechoyer. The story with the Bechoyer Rab Tzodek, if the Kohen is allowed to see the Negoim, the Mumim of a Bechoyer, of his own Bechoyer. And the third story was by Kvius Yom HaKippurim, that Rabbi Gmaliel called Rabbi Shiur ben Chananya to come b'makloi u'betarmiloi. He told him to come, and according to Rabbi Shua's cheshbon, it was Yom Kippur, and now let it take it on Yom Kippur. And he told him to come. And being that he told him to come, he didn't know if to do it or not to do it. As he states, he went to She'er Leitzah with who? With Rabbi Doisa ben Akinas. Doisa ben Akinas says go. But he was talking to him, he had the whole Gemara, he degraded him. Told him stand up, you learn the Gemara, I'm not here to say the Gemara. So they decided to impeach. Enough is enough. Rabbi Shiur ben Chananya was Godlador. Rabbi Shiur ben Chananya is called Pikche de Yehudoy. He was the Pikeach. Chachmei Atuna, the whole Sugyas HaGemara, the first parak in Bechoros, took the person to rebuttal, to answer up Chachmei Atuna with all the riddles. They took Rabbi Shiur ben Chananya. And the Keser, and in Reimi, all the story of Rabbi Shiur ben Chananya was a Veldskoyen. And they decided, Rabbi Gmaliel overdid it, we have to throw him out. And they're going to crown somebody else to become the Nesi Sanhedrin. Who are they going to crown? So the Gemara says, who are they going to do? So the Gemara, Manukimli. So the Gemara you just learned. Manukimli, who are we going to take? Let's say Rabbi Shiur, Baal Maisehu. Rashi says, Baal Maisehu, you give him a punishment, but you got to watch your bags. You don't want to hurt him. Even though you're impeaching Rabbi Gmaliel, you don't want to hurt him. He's the Baal Maisa. Because of his covet, is the reason why we're impeaching Rabbi Shiur. We're not going to do it. So the Gemara, Nukmil Rabbi Akiva. Maybe we should make Rabbi Akiva to become the Rosh Sanhedrin. So the Gemara, Leisli Zechus Ovois. He does. Rabbi Akiva was a ger. He was a ben ger. Akiva ben Yosef. He was a Amorat. Still, he was 40 years of age. So he doesn't have his chus of his Rashi. V'dil me'oni shlei Rabbi Gmaliel. Rabbi Gmaliel be manish him. If a guy has Heineken for the Rebbe Meilech, how it has chisuvis. So nobody's going to do anything to him. But Rabbi Akiva was the Zayde, is Charlie the guy. He doesn't have any chus of us. By the way, the Goyen state in Safret Tzniuse that the word Yichus is Miloshen Machase. Boas Lachse is Betzel Karosi. Somebody hears a Zayde means to say, there's no Chama, no Kshamim, you don't need a cover. But it's a rainy day, it's a sunny day, it's a hot day, it's a cold day. You got to have a psadekum. A yichus is a machs. Das ist steht in Goyen. So he doesn't have a yichus. So Rabbi Gmaliel is going to be makpid on him. And he'll be meinish and hot nicht gemachsen. Delete. So the Gemara, Ela nukmul Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Du chochom. Vu oshir. Vu asir le'ezre. U chochom di makshelei mefarekli. First one is like, is it on the chochom? Makshelei mefarekli zok de mashor. He was bucking any bekol mokum sheshayel limoisa. He was able to answer. So you ever talk with Chacham? Elazar ben Azariah, Grace talk with Chacham. You can talk to him any sugi in Shas. He's a Oisha. How rich? You know, here you are English Younger Lights. You know, there's something once a year they publish the rich list, right? The 50 billionaires. Wie Grace gewend der Oisha von Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So the Gemara in Shabbos, I just want to tell you, Gemara in Shabbos in Daf Nun Daled with basic, the Gemara says is halacha Mishnah, a behemoth cannot be yoytze Shabbos beritzuas sheben karneo. She cannot go out with a ritzuas. He used to tie between the two horns. He used to put a ritzua. The Gemara says he's not allowed to go out Shabbos. It's als masoy. And yeah, the Gemara says porosoy shel Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah hoyo yoytzes v'ritzua ben karneo. The poro of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah used to go out, and the ritzua was ben karneo. For the Gemara Akashe. Porosei shel Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah v'chad poro avalei. Yet chad poro, one poro. Ve'omar zoi de Gemara Rabbi Yude Omar Rav Treisar alfei eglei have meiser Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah me'edrei kol shosa v'shosa. 12,000 agolim he had of meiser be'emen. The Yerushalmi's great as the Yavitz brings down the Yerushalmi 13,000. Okay, 13,000 agolim. Okay. Every Shana. Now I got a news for you. Ma'aser behema, you have to have 10 animals together. They have to be the same mean, because you can't be ma'aser mean, not mean. And he had 13,000. You can't be ma'aser mishon al shona. You can't be ma'aser min achodesh shel hayoshan. You can't be ma'aser min al shein el minoi. You put it tachas hashevet. You take the asiri, you do a ritzua with a sikro, and those are the ma'aser behema. It's koshin kalim, and it's like Pchoyer and ma'aser and Pesach. They're all koshin kalim. You makavit lagavoya. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah in his Eider had 13,000 agolim. If you had 13,000 agolim, you had to have 130,000 behemoths, kol shosa v'shosa. Not from last year, not next year. What is the cost of the behemoth? Let me give you in a nutshell. Okay? Research. According to the Chazon Ish, according to Reb Chaim Kanievsky Shiurim, and according to the amount of zuzim and prutus and the value of kesef today, as of yesterday, I'm sorry, I've not checked today. The cost of a egel, of a behemoth, a korban, talking about if you learn Pchoyos, you learn Erchin, you got to know the cost. In today's value is on or about $400 US. So if you have $400 times 130,000, with calculation, you don't need a computer for it. $52 million per annum. Okay, if you want to put it on the rich list, $52 million worth of cattle had Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah bechol shosa v'shosa every single year. This is only animals. I got news for you. If you learn Bababasa Yeshneichel, more in Daf Tzadi Aleph said, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah had kromim, the biggest, the richest real estate mogul in the Golil Ho'elyon in Yehuda. He had kromim of Zeisim and Anovim. So you're talking about a person that per annum his income, not Mishona L'Shana, $100 million. A shtickle Aida Gevir. A Grace Gevir. So he's a Oisha. So Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, the Gemara counts it. So what is the mile from the Oisha? So he's Oisha. So what? He says you're not going to be able to buy him off. Guy makes $100 million a year. Kum tapo dollar. Sorry, the price is much higher. And nobody's going to buy him off. So they decided, he's a Chacham. Can answer it. Vu Oishir, vu Asiri le'ezro. Chacham di makshel meforik le'asiri, Oshir di isle le'pluch le'bei Kesar. Asiri le'ezro di isle schus ovis v'lei motzi onishle. Okay, they went to ask him, you want to become, he said, the boss. He went to ask his wife, and his wife told him, listen, look what happened to your you succeeding Rabbi Gmaliel. Look what happened to him. Tomorrow you're going to be the next guy, the prime minister, and they're going to impeach you. What's what are you going? So he told the Casa de Morika, Zokrashi, Koi Schuchis Yekoro, Shaloshin, Beloshin, Ishmael, Ahaki, Evoim, Bnei Odom, Nimshol, Yoimechol, Ishtamish, Bebaila, Viskabet, Bavim, Ishover. I have a beautiful crystal, white Schuchis Levone, and Shas Schuchis Levone is very, very expensive. If I could use it one day, I'll use it one day. Anyhow. So the Gemara, Omale Chivreto, what are you? You know, you don't have, how old was he? He was 18. Harei Shivi'm Shana. Yerushalmi state he was Bashisar or Shivasar. He is between 16 and 18 years old. So wächst noch nicht kein zwei Seires, Zokan Elyon. He is not growing a beard yet. And Israchesh le'nise v'hadru le'tamne sarei darei chivreso. He woke up in the morning and 18 hair grew. It's 18 hair. Some Rishonim learned 18 shulois of Zokan. And he had certification from Himmel that the masking for the minui that they gave him as a blombe bashgochas abadai tzedach redis, the schwarze board, the gevon a weiße board, he has a white beard and he's roy Leil gang with a long weiße board. He's a younger bocher. So he came in and he had recertification from Himmel that he's roy loisedus. Okay? And he comes in and he opens the Besmedrash, and Rabbi Gmaliel was very strict. He says, "Kol mishein toicher kavaru leikones," and he opened the doors, and he was first day it was 700, 400, 600 different numbers. Bavli Rishalmi, how many Talmidim walked in since he opened the doors? And he said, "Minet nishtaranya on the waiting list. Go meanwhile to Yagdil." No, it's open. You could come in right now. Anybody that wants, they're opening the doors, and you don't need to. Okay. So we have Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah is you don't have people like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Okay? I'm going to be Mekatza. And the Yerushalmi state, V'hoyu einov doimos le'Ezra Sefer. Who is Ezra Sefer? Ezra Sefer was 10 generations up. Ezra Sefer state in Gemara in Sanhedrin, Ru'uyo teira shetinosan al yodoi. And what could you do? He was born too late. Ezra Sefer Me'asimcha is a beautiful shtickle parsha. What's all your end of Daimus? Of Deisa ben Akinis is 94. 368 years past Ezra expiration. What is coming to say? Ein of Daimus to the Zayd, Elzetais with the Zayd, Ezra Kohen. So he says that Ezra Sefer was also, until Ezra Sefer was Mishane from Ktav Ivri to Ksav Ashuris, Torah was secluded, given only to the geniuses, to the Elohim. And Ezra saw, why? Because Yiravanar Bezoke in the Gemara state, everybody's going to Malzach Moshe Grois, everybody's becoming Pesach, and so they closed the doors. Ezra Sefer opened it, reinvented, Ksav Levinoy became Ksav Ashuri, and Torah became accessible. He was the first art scroll edition, is Ezra Sefer. So Meir Simcha says, Ein of Daimus mean to say, the Zalbeoig, the Einakel, the Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah has the same eye as the Zayde. We don't close in, we don't say Toicha Kabare, it's open to the public. It's now a time you got to open the door and let everybody go. I'm not getting to Tifarainen. Rab Doisa ben Arkinas has this Rab Elazar ben Azariah. What more do you need? You want to give a bracha to Klal Yisrael. Yirbu kemoise b'Yisrael. You take a Ben Gerim, which is not royal to take over Rabbi Akiva, was kommt da rein Akiva ben Yosef without a title. Yirbu kemoise b'Yisrael. You have Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who is a Chacham, and Yerushalmi state he was boking Shivi'm Loshen. He knew 70 languages. He can go to the case in Reimim, and so it did. He went there. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So Rabbi Doisa ben Akinas, who is the Zokin, wants to give a bracha. Yirbu kemoise b'Yisrael. Va'avorcho mevorchecho. Does he need to command to this Rabbi Akiva, the Ben Gerim, and say Yirbu kemoise b'Yisrael? You don't have, theoretically, a bigger person with so many profound qualifications like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. He is the person you should say Yirbu kemoise b'Yisrael. There's a Goyen, and there's a Elishiv, and there's a Miyuches, and there's a Chacham, there's Bokim B'Shivim Loshen. There's nothing more than him. All the glory and the... No, Rabbi Akiva, he says Rabbi Akiva, Yirbu kemoise b'Yisrael. The fourth Rabbi Yashiv said, Omar Rabbelozo ben Azariah, Harei ani kevin Shimi Shana v'leizochisi shete'omer yishtias Mitzrayim baleis ache dorsha ben Zoma. You know who Ben Zoma was? By the way, he had a name. His name was Shimon. The two people called Shimon, they don't even call him by their first name. Not only is not a Rav HaKohen, not only is not Rebbe, he's not Horav, he's not Reb, he doesn't even have a first name. He's called Ben Zoma. Ben Azai. State the Gemara, Sanhedrin, Yitches Amud Beis. The reason why he didn't even call by the first name, because by the Shiur, when he was sitting, he was Yoshev Lifnei HaChacham. He was taking notes in the back, the Chaz of the Shiur. He wasn't the person that even have his own identity. He's nameless. He doesn't need any private personal name, surname. He doesn't have any name. Zogt Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, I'm opening up, this is the Chag HaChinuch. We are right now initiating the Chag HaChinuch, the Chag HaPesach. He's telling him, Harei ani, look at me, kevem Shivi'm Shana. I'm a person who took over. And when they decided to impeach Rabbi Gmaliel, the person they took was not anybody else. They took me, Harei ani, look at me. And I'm a Chacham, and I'm a Oisha, and I'm a Yuchas, and I'm not Boki B'Shivim Loshan. And what do you need more? I was certified in Shamayim. I went to sleep, Hashvalze Yugeshnuk, and I got up, I eat with a lange weiße Brot. And yet, this not because Yetzias Mitzrayim is something like the mitzvah of Sipu Yetzias Mitzrayim. They're total two different sugis. And Ben Zoma is the one who introduced us to this Ikre Adas like Loshen Ramban, the Ikre Adas for mitzvahs, Ikriya Shmo Balaylo. I'm telling you, this is the lesson you got to learn. You got to learn not miloimcho, not michochmoscho, not miyichuscho. Who do we take? We give the bracha on Akiva ben Yosef on Rabbi Akiva. Here, b'kemoischa b'Yisrael. It's not a kunz to take Reb Chaim Kanievsky. I should be like Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Look, Tata's typo. It's not a big kunz. No, I'm taking this Ben Gerim, the one who doesn't have a father. His father is a ger, and he's the one here b'kemoischa b'Yisrael. Omar Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, this is the lesson I'm trying to give to each and every one of you. You're opening up Pesach, Chag Pesach, which the Maral calls the Chag HaChinuch. This is the lesson we're teaching our children. We're opening up, we're saying, Harei ani keben Shivi'm, look at me, Omar Rabbi Elazar, Harei ani, look at me. Keben Shivi'm Shana, I was certified, and I have all the qualifications. But the mitzvah of Ikre Adas installed in each and every night was introduced, was perpetuated, went down in history by somebody who doesn't even have a name. He was Yoshev Lifnei Chachamim. Doesn't even have a name, he's a Ben Zoma. Shete'omer Yetzias Mitzrayim b'leilos. L'lamdecho. That loy, not, you don't have to be a Greise Talmid Chacham, Volz Talmid Chacham. You don't have to be a Greise Miyuchas, as Doir Asir, Le'ezra Sefer. You don't have to be a multi-millionaire like Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah at 130,000 behemoths every single year. You don't have to know 70 Loshen, and you don't need to have even Askara from Himmel that you are the one who's crowned to take over the Nesias of Rabbi Gmaliel. The Yirbu Kemoisa B'Yisrael, we talk to each and every one. The Ben Zoma is the one who is perpetuating, who is the one who is putting down in history the Ikre Adas, the Choivas, Haskoras, Yitzias, Mitzrayim Baleilus.